Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive, and today we're taking a look at the ant and the elephant.
Ooh, this one looks interesting.
It is. And it seems like a lot of you are curious about the insights it offers on self-leadership and how to really nail those big goals.
Yeah, definitely seeing a lot of buzz about that.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. A children's story. Really. But trust me on this one. This is not your typical bedtime tale.
I'm intrigued already.
This story is an allegory. Get this, for the conscious and subconscious mind.
Okay, I'm listening.
So picture this Adir the ant. He's our conscious mind.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then we have Elgo, the elephant.
Yeah.
He represents the subconscious.
I like it. Simple but effective.
Right. And let me tell you, there's a whole lot packed in here about motivation, mindset, even how our brains work. The whole shebang.
So are we ready to jump in then?
Let's dive in.
You know what's really fascinating about this story? It throws light on something we rarely discuss. We often think we're the ones in control making all the decisions.
Yeah, for sure. But a lot of times our subconscious desires and beliefs, they're kind of steering us in a completely different direction. It's almost like,
Well, I know exactly what you mean.
like a deer riding on Elgo's back.
Yeah.
Completely clueless about where he's being taken.
Yeah, and the story starts off with a deer feeling totally lost and frustrated. He's separated from his colony, struggling to survive, let alone achieve anything significant.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is. He's
Yeah.
got this vision of reaching the Oasis, this legendary place of abundance.
The ultimate goal.
Right, but he feels completely stuck, like he's going nowhere.
I've been there.
And that's when Brio the Wise Owl enters the scene.
Ah, the mentor figure.
Exactly. He's like a walk-in wisdom bomb, dropping truth bombs left and right. One of the first things Brio tells Adir is, "You don't know what you don't know."
Whoa, that line is so powerful.
Isn't it?
It's a huge reminder to stay open-minded. We tend to get stuck in our ways, operating on assumptions and beliefs that might not be helping us at all.
So true.
Because Adir thinks he's in control,
Oh.
but it's Elgo who's really dictating their direction.
Yeah, it's such a brilliant metaphor for how we might be working towards a goal. But if our subconscious isn't on board, we'll just end up back where we started.
Or even further away from where we want to be.
Right. Talk about a reality check. So how does Adir start to get Elgo on board with his vision?
This is where things get really interesting. Brio introduces Adir to something called the elephant buzz.
The elephant buzz. Okay, you got to tell me more about this.
All right, so imagine this. Adir starts to really vividly visualize reaching the oasis.
Okay, I'm picturing
He's not just seeing it. He's engaging all his senses.
like a full sensory experience.
Exactly. He can smell the lush vegetation. He can hear the waterfalls. He can feel that incredible sense of accomplishment washing over him.
Wow, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
And as he taps into those positive emotions, something incredible happens. He experiences a physical sensation. A buzz.
A buzz, like a real physical feeling.
A real physical feeling.
Yeah.
That tells him Elgo is starting to align with his vision.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. So the elephant buzz is this sign that Adir's conscious goals and Elgo's subconscious desires are finally in sync.
Precisely. It's like a perfect harmony between what he wants and what his deeper self desires.
It's like that feeling when you're so excited about something you can practically paste it.
Exactly. It's a powerful way to think about how we can bring our conscious goals and deeper desires into alignment.
I love that. So how do we cultivate that elephant buzz more often? Like, is there a secret formula?
Well, Brio really emphasizes the importance of nurturing positive dominant thoughts.
Positive thinking. Got it.
He explains to Adir that those negative thoughts, they directly impact Elgo's behavior, pulling them further away from the oasis.
It's like negativity is a magnet pulling you in the wrong direction.
Exactly. To illustrate this, he uses a powerful analogy. Imagine adding just one drop of blue dye to a 5,000-gallon bucket of water every single day.
Okay, I'm following you.
At first, it seems insignificant, right? Like one tiny drop. What difference could it make?
It's easy to dismiss.
But over time, that water is going to turn blue.
Oh, wow. I see where you're going with this.
Our thoughts work the same way. Consistent, positive thoughts, even if they seem small, they gradually shift our subconscious beliefs and lead to massive change.
That's such a great visual. It's like a slow and steady transformation.
It is. And it reminds us that real change takes time and consistent effort. We live in a world obsessed with instant results.
Oh, tell me about it. Instant gratification is everywhere.
Right. But this emphasizes the importance of trusting the process and delaying gratification. Just like Adir needs to trust that those drops of blue dye are working their magic, even if he doesn't see the water turning blue immediately.
It's a powerful lesson in patience and perseverance.
Absolutely. And to help with that process, Brio introduces this idea of gold dots.
Gold dots. Okay, now I'm really curious. What are those?
Think of them as visual anchors, little reminders scattered throughout your day to bring you back to your goals.
Like little nudges to stay focused.
Exactly. Adir uses them to keep his vision top of mind. Whenever he sees a gold dot, he's instantly reminded of the Oasis, which helps him stay motivated and keeps Elgo moving in the right direction.
I love that. So what could a gold dot be? Is it like a physical object or something?
It could be anything. A picture on your desk, a quote on your mirror, a word on a wristband, whatever works for you.
So many possibilities.
The key is to find what resonates with you and makes that connection to your goal.
It's like leaving yourself little breadcrumbs to follow back to your dreams. I love it.
It is. But let's face it, we all have those moments of doubt and negativity. They creep in whether we like it or not.
They're like uninvited guests.
Exactly. So how do we handle those when they inevitably show up?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
That's where Brio's concept of pattern busters comes into play.
Pattern busters. Sounds intense.
It's all about interrupting those pesky negative thought patterns that can derail us.
We all have them. I'll never reach my goal, or this is way too hard.
Exactly. Those are the culprits. But with pattern busters, we can consciously choose to replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations.
So it's like saying, nope, not today, negativity, and flipping the script.
You got it. It's about taking control of your thoughts.
Do you have an example of a pattern buster? Like, what would that sound like?
Brio suggests using a simple phrase, "Thank you, but that is not part of my vision. My vision is." And then you state your desired outcome.
It's like politely declining those negative thoughts and reaffirming your commitment to what you truly want.
Exactly. It's a powerful way to shift your focus.
I love that. It's so empowering. But how do we build the confidence to actually stay on track, especially when things get tough?
Well, that's where flashcards come in.
Flashcards,
Yeah.
like the ones we use for studying.
Similar. But instead of facts and figures, we're using them to mentally rehearse challenging situations.
Okay, I'm listening.
Brio tells Adir to create these mental scenarios where he visualizes himself successfully navigating obstacles.
So like a mental dress rehearsal.
Exactly. By practicing a positive response in his mind, he's training his subconscious to react confidently when those challenges show up in real life.
Wait, are you saying that just by imagining ourselves handling a situation well, we can actually increase our chances of doing so in reality?
Precisely. It's the power of imagined experience. Our brains don't always distinguish between what's real and what we vividly imagine.
That's amazing.
By repeatedly practicing a positive response, Adir is essentially rewiring his subconscious to be more confident and effective.
It's like giving our inner Elgo a pep talk and a roadmap for success.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to really push Adir outside his comfort zone, Brio throws in this gem: extraordinary steps produce extraordinary results.
You got to step up your game if you want extraordinary results.
Exactly. He's reminding Adir that playing it safe and sticking to the familiar, like Elgo's tendency to follow the well-worn path, won't get you to the Oasis.
That's such a great point. To achieve something truly remarkable, you have to be willing to push beyond your comfort zone to try things you've never tried before.
Absolutely. It's about embracing discomfort as a necessary part of growth and learning.
Don't just settle for the ordinary, dare to go for the extraordinary.
I love that. And speaking of extraordinary, Adir takes all this wisdom from Brio and boils it down to 5 C words: clarity, commitment, consistency, confidence, and control.
Those are some powerful C's.
They are. They become his guiding principles as he continues his journey towards the Oasis. It's like a framework for self-leadership.
Sounds pretty solid to me.
It is. And it's something we can all apply to our own lives. It's about having a clear vision of what you want, being committed to achieving it, staying consistent in your efforts, building your confidence through those pattern busters and mental rehearsals, and ultimately taking control of your responses to whatever life throws your way.
Those 5 C's are like a recipe for success.
They really are. So Adir takes those principles and starts putting them into action.
All right, I'm hooked. What happens next? Okay, so Adir's armed with his 5 C's, and things are starting to look up for him. But I'm guessing the journey to the Oasis isn't a walk in the park.
Right. Yeah. You're right. There are definitely bumps along the way, moments of doubt, setbacks, and those pesky negative thoughts, they always try to sneak back in.
They never really go away, do they?
It's a constant battle.
Yeah.
But Adir, he stays persistent. He keeps that vision in mind, uses his gold dots, practices those pattern busters. And you know what? It starts to pay off. big time.
Give me the details. What kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, the landscape around them, it starts to transform. Remember, this is all a metaphor. So the outer world, it's basically mirroring Adir's inner world.
So the changes in his mindset are reflected in the world around him.
Exactly. The negativity starts to fade away, and that path to the oasis, it becomes clearer, more defined.
Wow, that's really powerful. It's like our thoughts and beliefs can actually shape our reality.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And eventually, on this quiet starlit night, Adir and Elgo, they finally reach the oasis.
They made it.
Yeah.
All that hard work, it finally paid off. So was it this grand celebration, fireworks, confetti, the whole 9 yards?
It's actually described as a very peaceful, almost quiet arrival. They don't stumble upon it with a bang, but rather a whisper. It's this beautiful moment of realization for Adir, that all his persistence, the work he put into leading himself and Elgo, it finally brought them to their destination.
There's something so profound about that. It's like the journey itself, with all its ups and downs, was the real reward.
I think you're right. And it's a great reminder that sometimes the most fulfilling destinations are reached through quiet perseverance and consistent effort.
That's a great point. And speaking of rewards, the afterword of this story takes things up a notch. It dives into the science behind this whole conscious and subconscious mind connection.
The nitty-gritty details.
Are you ready for a little brain science geek out session?
Always up for that. I love when storytelling meets real-world research. It's like everything just clicks into place.
It's those aha moments that make it all worthwhile. So the author, Vince Poscente, he talks about the work of Dr. Lee Poulos, a researcher who's been studying the brain for decades. And Dr. Poulos throws out this mind-blowing statistic. Ready for it.
Maybe with it.
Our subconscious mind, it's vastly more powerful than our conscious mind.
Okay, that's not entirely surprising, but I bet there's more to it.
Oh, there's definitely more. Dr. Poulos points out that in just 1 second, our conscious mind uses about 2,000 neurons.
Okay, it's a lot of brain power already.
But wait for it. In that same second, our subconscious mind, it uses a whopping 4 billion neurons.
Hold on, did you say 4 billion?
4 billion.
Yep.
That's 2 million times more processing power in the subconscious.
2 million times. That's insane.
It's mind-blowing, right? So we're basically like little Adirs riding these giant Elgos, and we have no idea how much power we have to steer them.
It's like having this untapped superpower, just waiting to be unleashed.
So how do we start tapping into that power? How do we even begin to understand something so complex?
I think it all starts with awareness. We need to recognize that our subconscious, just like Elgo, has incredible potential, but it needs guidance and direction from our conscious mind, our inner Adir.
So it's a partnership. We need both our conscious mind to set the goals and create the vision, and our subconscious mind to provide the power and the momentum to get us there.
Precisely. And that's where self-leadership becomes absolutely crucial. It's about learning to communicate with our Elgo, understanding what makes it tick, and gently guiding it in a direction that benefits both of us.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we do that in practical terms? How do we start having those conversations with our inner Elgo?
Well, remember those gold dots that Adir used?
The visual reminders?
It's the same principle. We need to find tools and techniques that work for us to keep our conscious and subconscious minds aligned.
So things like visual reminders, affirmations, visualizations, gratitude practices, anything that helps us stay connected to our goals.
Exactly. The key is to find what resonates with you and use it consistently. Don't underestimate the power of simple but effective strategies.
So it's about being proactive, not just letting our subconscious run the show on autopilot.
Absolutely. You have the power to choose the direction, to train your Elgo, to support your dreams, and create a life that truly aligns with your deepest desires.
This is making me think about habits. You know how they often feel so automatic, like we're just going through the motions?
And that's because they are. Habits are driven by those deeply ingrained neural pathways in our subconscious. But here's the exciting part. Through conscious effort, just like Adir guiding Elgo, we can actually rewire those pathways.
Wait, so you're saying that even things like procrastination or self-doubt, those could be wired into our subconscious?
It's possible. Those patterns of thinking and behaving, they can become ingrained over time. But the good news is that we have the power to change them.
That's both scary and empowering at the same time.
It is, and that's the beauty of understanding this interplay between our conscious and subconscious minds. We can choose to be more intentional, more deliberate in shaping our thoughts, our beliefs, and ultimately our behaviors.
This is blowing my mind. The story of the ant and the elephant, it's like it's giving us a whole new set of tools for self-discovery and growth. It's more than just a story, it's a roadmap.
I like that analogy. It's a roadmap that anyone can use. It doesn't matter what your goals are, what challenges you're facing, or what your oasis looks like. The principles are universal.
So how do we take this roadmap and start applying it to our own lives? Where do we begin? Okay, so let's talk strategy. How do we actually make this happen? We've all got those elgos holding us back, that voice that whispers, you can't, or it's too hard. But what if we could actually train that voice? Like reprogram it to be our cheerleader?
I love that analogy. And it's totally possible. It all comes down to those 5 C's that Adir used. Remember, clarity, commitment, consistency, confidence, and control.
They really are a fantastic framework, but how do we put those into practice? Like, where do we even start?
Well, first things first, clarity. You got to know where you're going. Before we can even think about reaching our oasis, we need to paint a clear picture of what it looks like.
So get specific about our goals.
Exactly. What's a desired outcome? And just as importantly, ask yourself, why this goal matters to you. Tap into that emotional connection. That's what fuels the fighter.
That's how we get Elgo excited about the journey.
Exactly. And once you've got that clarity, it's all about commitment. Are you truly all in? Are you willing to do what it takes to reach that oasis?
It's got to be a resounding yes.
It does. Because change takes time and effort. Remember those drops of blue dye in the bucket?
Yeah.
You have to be in it for the long haul. Trust the process.
Commitment check.
Huh.
What about consistency? How do we stay on track day after day?
It's all about those small, consistent actions. Remember Adir's gold dots, those little visual reminders. They were key.
They kept him focused on the prize.
Exactly. So think about what your gold dots could be. And don't forget about gratitude. It's like a secret weapon. Taking a moment to appreciate what you already have it can supercharge your motivation.
It's like a fuel injection for the journey. Makes it more enjoyable, too. All right, so clarity, commitment, consistency. We're on a roll. What about confidence? How do we deal with those negative thoughts that always seem to pop up at the worst times?
That's where those pattern busters come in handy. Remember those? Those negative thoughts, they're like old software running in the background. But we can choose to update the program.
Time for a system upgrade.
Exactly. So when those thoughts creep in, hit them with your pattern buster. Thank you, but that's not part of my vision. My vision is, and then state your positive affirmation.
It's like we're taking back control of our thoughts.
Precisely. And that brings us to control. Remember Adir's flashcards. That mental rehearsal. It's incredibly powerful for building confidence and prepping for challenges.
So like a mental simulation of handling tough situations.
Exactly. Visualize yourself navigating those situations calmly and effectively. The more you practice, the more you're training your brain to respond in a more empowered way.
It's like giving our inner Elgo a set of instructions, a roadmap for success.
Precisely. And remember, growth happens outside of that comfort zone. Those challenges, those moments of doubt, they're actually opportunities for your brain to rewire itself, to build new pathways towards your goals.
It's like Elgo getting stronger with every step towards the oasis.
Exactly. So embrace the challenges. They're part of the growth process.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. The Ant and the Elephant, it's more than just a story. It's a guidebook for understanding ourselves and tapping into our hidden potential.
And the best part is, it's applicable to everyone. No matter what your goals are, what challenges you're facing, or what your oasis looks like, these principles, they're universal.
So as you go about your day, remember this. You are both the ant and the elephant. You have the power to lead and the potential to achieve anything you set your mind to.
And don't forget to enjoy the ride. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the wins, and remember the journey of self-discovery and growth. It's a lifelong adventure.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the ant and the elephant. We hope you found this exploration as fascinating and empowering as we did. Until next time, keep exploring those inner landscapes. Keep those gold dots handy, and remember you have the power to create your own oasis.